Well, hi guys, David Stone here again. And today what I want to talk about is a little technique that we can really use, we can all use it, to keep our self-confidence up. Because self-confidence is the opposite of anxiety, isn't it? If you're self-confident, you're not feeling anxiety. If you're confident, you're not feeling worried about things. You know that things are going to work out fine. So how do you build that up? Well, confidence has a couple of components. And I know we've talked a little bit about this before, but it's really important, so I want to make sure that we come back to it on a regular basis. Now, self-confidence is knowing that you have the ability to accomplish things, to succeed against a challenge, to overcome any challenges that might come your way. But it has another component to it, and that is self-esteem. Self-esteem is where you believe yourself to be a worthwhile person, a worthy person, a person who is deserving of accomplishment, deserving of success, if you want. And when our self-esteem is gone, then it's impossible to have self-confidence and therefore impossible to overcome anxieties and worries. So what we want to do is keep our self-esteem as high as we possibly can. Now, one thing that I've found to be useful is to think of self-esteem as gas in your tank. So you've got a car, assuming your car isn't a fuel electric one, you got to fill the tank with gas every once in a while, don't you? Because if you run out of gas, you're going to be sitting by the side of the road. Self-esteem is the same way. If you've got a full tank of self-esteem, then you think of yourself as worthy. You've got the horsepower, the energy to go at things, to take on challenges, because you know that you're deserving of overcoming those challenges. And that's a huge step in being able to get rid of all that anxiety. So how do we fill up this self-esteem tank, if you want? Well, far too many of us depend on others to fill our self-esteem tank. We look for the compliments. We look for people to approve of us. You know, we're so worried about what other people think of us. And that's because our self-esteem tank is low. And when they say, yes, you've done a good job, or yes, you're a good boy, a good girl, whatever it is, then our self-esteem tank fills back up. The problem with depending on other people to fill it up, though, is as often as they can put gas into your tank, they can take it back out again as well by, a look that you might interpret as disapproving, or a comment that you might interpret as disapproving, or even the lack of a comment. They didn't like my Facebook post. They didn't laugh at the joke that I told. Does that mean they don't approve of me? And whoosh, the level of your self-esteem in the tank goes back down. So we have to depend on ourselves as often as possible, as much as possible, to keep that self-esteem tank full. Now, how do you do that? Well, the biggest way is to review the things that you have accomplished in the past that have proven that you're worthy. Okay, so what have you done? What have you done recently? What thing did you do yesterday that worked for you, that was successful? What thing did you do yesterday that made you think well of yourself? Did you stick to your diet? Did you do the exercise that you wanted to do? Did you take time for self-care and give yourself a rest when you needed one? Did you follow through on some commitments? Did you do a good job in your work or your school or whatever, or if you're looking after children or whatever, did you do a good job of those? Because every time we do one of those kinds of things, every time we do something well, we want to take a moment and pat ourselves on the back and remind ourselves that that proves that you're a worthwhile person, you're a worthy person, you're a capable person. And every time you do that, your self-esteem tank fills back up again. So keep an eye on the fuel level in your self-esteem tank. We ought to have a little gauge somewhere, like on the dashboard, that can tell us. But we don't need a gauge really, because you can tell by how you feel, right? How your mood is, how your how you're feeling about yourself. You can tell how full or how empty your self-esteem tank is. And if you feel it running a little dry, then you need to take a few minutes and fill it back up by reminding yourself, thinking about those times, thinking about those accomplishments when you've done things well, reminding yourself about how worthy, how deserving, how capable you actually are. Now, if you want to talk to me about this, I would be thrilled to chat with you. You know, right there on the screen down at the bottom, that's my email address. Go ahead, get in touch with me. I promise I'll get back to you. The other thing you can do is sign up, join our Facebook group. It's called the Fearless Living and Growth Society, and it is growing all right. We're getting lots of people joining that. It's still relatively new, but join up. And we have daily conversations and daily exchanges about ways to overcome anxiety, because anxiety sucks, doesn't it? It feels bad. It never solves the problem. Enough of it makes you actually sick. And so we don't want that. And this is where you can get rid of it. You can overcome it. It is absolutely not necessary that you feel anxious, that you feel worried, that you walk around with anxiety or hypochondria or imposter syndrome or any of those other versions of anxiety. We can get rid of them right here. So please join us. And if you like these videos, please like it here on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, comment below, share it with anybody you want. And most of all, join me right back here for another video real soon. See you soon.